Welcome to this week's episode of Trista's Plate Story podcast. I'm Trista Polo from iwokeupawesome.com, and I am your host. Each week we learn the story behind that vanity plate, the one you saw driving down the road. What does it say? What does it mean? Why did they choose it? This week we meet Amber from Southern Missouri. Amber's license plate, Go Play, reflects her belief that we all need to take time out of our busy lives and do a little play. Amber is part of the Jeep community, which inspired her business Life Without Doors. Amber shares the profound impact being part of the Jeep community has had on her life, and some other fun facts about herself as well. In the video version of the episode, we share some of her wonderful live concert photography of bands like Green Day and Linkin Park, and some cool photos of her Jeeping too. Now let's go off-road with Amber. Welcome to this week's episode. Of Trista's Plate Story podcast. Today I have Amber from Southern Missouri. Her license plate is Go Play, and I'm excited to speak to you today. Amber, welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So Go Play, now that's on your Jeep, right?
It is.
You're a Jeep girl.
I am a Jeep girl.
That's awesome. So tell me the story about the plate.
Okay, so late 2017, I traded in my Dodge Charger for a Jeep. It was a life change I wasn't expecting, and it's been one of the most wonderful things I've done. At the time, I was kind of really focused on my career and didn't take enough time out of life to go play. And so when I bought the Jeep, I met a lot of people that really changed my life. They helped me build it and empower me, and they got me off-road and kind of taught me how to live again and believe in people again.
Wow, I love that. And all from a choice of choosing a different kind of vehicle, because the Jeep has a personality of its own, right? And I notice that people tend to do a lot of modifications, a lot of personalizations. And so have you done any of that with your Jeep?
I have, and it was when I spoke about empowering, that's kind of where I was at, because when I bought it, I had no idea what I was going to do with it. I just thought I was going to leave it stock, and then I met people, and it went down a rabbit hole, and it all started with replacing my front bumper by myself. And I had, a lot of people that helped me. They coached me. They taught me. They didn't do it for me. So as a woman who had never even thought about working on a vehicle, it was really a life-changing experience. And again, it taught me that there's still good people out there, and they're willing to help you learn and not try to keep you down. So
it sounds like you had kind of a transformation in your belief in others and maybe even your circumstances. Can you talk a little bit more about what led you to that point?
Yeah, I had a lot going on. I wasn't in the best frame of mind, I suppose, kind of maybe a dark place. Really focused on my career. My boyfriend and my youngest son lived 3 hours away from me at the time, and now I'm back with them. But I wasn't in a good place mentally, I suppose. And to put it out there, I suppose at some point I really believed that I was never even going to make the first payment on it. So I was in a dark place.
I got it. And so just by making a leap of faith and then allowing things to unfold and allowing the community to make a difference for you, it really changed things for you and turned things around for you, it sounds like.
It did. It really did.
Wow,
huge ways.
That's awesome. I love that. So does your Jeep have a name?
It does. Its name is Plum Crazy.
Plum Crazy. I love it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Most people, they're not sure whether it's the Jeep or the driver.
Right. Well, typically Jeep drivers do name your Jeeps, right? That's a typical thing. And then you made a lot of modifications, it sounds like, as well. Is your Jeep purple? It is, right?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great name. And I love the meaning behind the license plate. It's so true. We really just work to live a lot of times, and we sort of forget that it's not just about the paycheck. It's not just about making a living. It's actually about making a life.
Yeah.
And so what is it that you do professionally?
Well, I used to be in senior management and accounting. When I moved down south, I kind of put my career away and took a position that I didn't particularly care for. And then kind of last summer, I started developing products for Jeeps, and I have started my own business called Life Without Doors.
I love it. So let's talk about that. So what exactly is it that you offer for Jeep customization?
Jeep people, we love to not have doors on, right? Doors and tops. We don't want them. We want to be naked. I generally run commando, which means I have my top on, but not my doors.
Okay.
So I have a pulled muscle in my right arm that has never healed. And so the doors are very difficult for me to handle. And so last summer, I was like, there has to be a product out there to just cover the door openings. And there's not. There wasn't. I couldn't find it. I scoured the internet, and it just didn't exist. So I set out to create it.
Wow.
And I have done that.
When you say something to replace the door, so you've taken the door off, but you want to cover it back up, but without the door?
Yes.
Okay. And is it canvas or plastic? What's it made of?
It's a polyester ripstop that has a coating on both sides, making it waterproof.
Wow, that's so cool. And it sounds lightweight as well.
It's very lightweight and easy to put on in an emergency. I mean, I have sat at my office and watched it downpour, and there was no chance of rain that day.
So you have to have something quick, light, and portable to be able to handle that kind of situation, it sounds like.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
Wow. I love that. Well, what do they say, that necessity is the mother of invention?
Yes, exactly.
And is that the only product you offer at Life Without Doors?
No, I also offer dash covers, one that covers the steering wheel to protect the clock spring, and one that covers the center of the dash for the stereo, because many of the older models, they don't have marine grade stereos in them, so when they get wet, they fry.
Oh, right, because you want to be able to have an all-weather vehicle, probably inside and out. Yeah. So you said commando, which I think of that meaning something else. So that's a Jeep term for having the top on and the doors off. What are some other common terms to refer to ways that you might use your Jeep?
Well, like I mentioned, going naked.
Oh, yeah. That also means something different to me.
Yeah. So that's without the tops and doors. There's all kinds of things that Jeepers say, like, even some people take it way too seriously, but if you've got your Jeep built in a certain way, they'll call you a mall crawler instead of an off-roader or a rock crawler. The XJ owners, which are the Cherokees, they're now lovingly called boxes.
Okay.
And dumpster fires. So
oh my.
Yeah, there's a lot out there.
That's great. And it is really a very tight-knit community, even beyond your local area, right? Like, this is a community of empowerment, of female power, and being able to own both the road and the off-road, it seems like.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a couple national women's groups that do a very good job of doing that and supporting women, whether they want to off-road or not, but just being able to give them information and support to do modifications that they want to. One of the biggest ones on Facebook is the JeepHER page, and the moderators there do a really good job of keeping out any drama and cattiness and stuff like that. And it's a great resource for information if you're not involved with a local club.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you really have the opportunity to plug into something that's well established and very loving, I think is the word I would use.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite adventures since you've purchased it?
Well, I'll tell you, my first adventure, I had less than 200 miles on it and had it less than 36 hours and took it to an off-road park. And first obstacle of the day, I popped a tire.
Oh no.
So this really is where I fell in love with the Jeep community, because not only did they help me change that tire on the trail and teach me how to do that on the trails, but we went in for lunch and I had 4 people offer me replacement tires.
Wow.
So it really is a family, and they take care of each other. But I have done things in that Jeep that I never thought possible. And it's putting a lot of trust into a vehicle and also yourself, especially off-roading. And then you also have to trust the people who are on the trails with you to guide you through obstacles that are challenging.
Well, it sounds like you're allowing yourself an opportunity to expand your own self-reliance as well as your trust in others.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think those are both really important to have. So I think that's wonderful that it's all afforded you that. And so much so that you've actually taken it on as a profession as well. Yay.
Yeah. Yeah. And I work with a couple people in a couple different women's programs to also promote women out on the trails with a club up in Kansas City called the Midwest Crawlers. We run an event every year that is called the Sunflower Trail Ride, which is a celebration of women on the trails. I still want to continue to pass on what has been given to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. So other than clearly being a very active member of the Jeep community and the Jeep women's community, what else do you enjoy doing for fun?
Well, given our current situations, we don't have a lot of options. But my boyfriend and I go out every night and shoot a couple rounds of horseshoes, and that, at least gets you outside and spend some quality time. But,
that's fun.
Yeah.
You said you have children. Do they participate as well in the horseshoe games?
No.
How about the Jeepin'? Do they participate in that at all?
No, my oldest boy, he's gone with me once and he enjoyed it. My youngest boy has gone once and he did not.
Oh, well, what do you think it is about the experience that has you either love it or hate it? What do you expect when you go out on an excursion?
I think that you really have to enjoy being outdoors and around people. You have to be open-minded to all of it. And
no matter what the weather, it sounds like.
Yes. Yes.
Now, you had a previous profession of concert photographer, right?
Yes.
So tell me some of your favorite concerts that you were a photographer at.
Oh my, all of them. Yeah, I supported both local and national acts. I think one of the coolest bands, or probably the biggest band I ever shot, was Green Day. But, I mean, I've got so much memorabilia sitting here in just this office that is amazing. Here, actually, I'm going to pull something over.
Yeah, show me.
I don't know if you can see this, but this is a photo I took of Dave Grohl.
Oh, wow. You took that photo. That's amazing. It's a good shot. Pull it back a little so I can see the whole thing. Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. With was that a staged photo or was that at a concert?
It was at a concert, and it was when he broke his leg.
Okay.
So they had him in a throne.
Yes, a throne of guitars.
And the thing behind me is also concert photos, and I have images of people who are no longer with us, like Chris Cornell from Soundgarden and Chester Bennington from Linkin Park. And so some of that stuff, you look at it and you go, I can't believe I got that experience. And
for sure.
be able to treasure it because life's too short.
Now, as a concert photographer, did you have backstage access?
So with concert photography, you generally get to shoot 3 songs and then you have to get out of the photo pit. And the photo pit is the barricade that keeps the crowd back and to the stage. So we were generally in with security for the first 3 songs.
Wow, that's so cool. So what did you like best about that experience?
It was exhilarating. In a time where there wasn't much that made me feel alive, being in the pit and getting those shots and being with the few friends that I had was one of the things that just kind of kept me going. And to be that close to the artist, especially when they interact with you, is one of the coolest things ever.
For sure. Wow. What made you stop doing it?
Well, I moved 3 hours away from the nearest venue that holds any good-sized concerts, and it was actually probably good timing because now there's no concerts at all.
Oh, that's true. Well, the nice thing about being a concert photographer, it sounds like, is you can pick it back up if you ever want to. So that's great. Awesome. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to share about the Jeeping community or anything else about you that you'd like us to know?
No, I mean, I'm just a humble little person right now, just trying to get a business launched and take care of my family and still go out and go play every once in a while.
Yes, that is good advice for everyone, I think. Yes. Make sure you spend time or make sure you take time to go play.
Yes,
that's good advice.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I always like to turn the tables and see if you have a question you'd like to ask me before we wrap up.
What do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? Well, I will tell you this past weekend, my family did a murder mystery over Zoom. We each took a part and, we went through the whole murder mystery game and discovered who was killed and who the murderer was. So that was a lot of fun. I really do love spending time with family and friends. It's been hard not to be able to in person, but I definitely have embraced my stay at home. And I will say I'm in New York. So for a while we were like, ground zero for the whole quarantining thing. I've created a new word, which is a hermaphobe. It's a hermit who's also a germaphobe. And it was created from the quarantine. So I'm really trying to cure myself of that because it keeps me from doing the thing I do enjoy when I play. Yeah.
Have you ever been off-road?
No, my husband is a sailor. So we sail. That's about as adventurous as I get. We take my dog, who's a working dog breed. We take her hiking in the woods. On trails and stuff in woods and things, but I've never done off-road with a vehicle. I've just always had like normal cars that you don't take off-road.
Yeah, well, I went from fast cars to what I'm doing now, so.
Okay, fast cars to off-road cars.
Yeah.
Although Jeep's not considered a car. Is it considered an SUV?
It's a Jeep.
Okay, so it's its own category.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I feel like I just crossed a line right there.
Yeah. We joke about it a lot. I mean, if somebody calls a Jeep a car, they're immediately corrected. It's a Jeep.
Got it. Okay, good. Well, thank goodness I learned that lesson. I won't make that mistake again. Oh my goodness. I do really love how that community, the Jeep community, is so connected. I had my first JeepHER on the show. Love Pigs was her plate. And so I've just been curious and interested in the Jeep community since then because she shared a little bit.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people realize how much community service the community also does. Through the quarantine, doing parades for graduates or nursing homes or the hospitals and getting out there and doing highway cleanups and, anything they can, both on and off road. They do trail cleanups at the parks, and the community is just so awesome. and it's truly amazing to see them work together on a lot of things and build more community.
I didn't realize that there was so much service and contribution inside of the community. It doesn't surprise me, but that sounds great. That's another facet of the community I wasn't aware of.
I know one of the groups that I'm in Kansas City, the Midwest Crawlers, they recently participated in a huge memorial run for Officer Mosier, who was killed in the line of duty. And so there's a lot of Back the Blue in there, and it's just really neat. And when you get involved with those type of things, it can become very overwhelming emotionally, but in a good way.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. It's been wonderful having you. And I really appreciate you sharing the Jeep community through your eyes and how it really made such a difference for you. And I'm so glad that it did.
I appreciate the opportunity and your time that you took with me to hear my story. And so thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing it. I really appreciate you sharing a little bit of yourself with us.
You're welcome.
Have a great day.
All right, you as well.
Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of Trista's Plate Story Podcast. Please subscribe to Trista's Plate Story Podcast to get the story behind all those vanity plates driving with you on the road. And if you would like to nominate the owner of a license plate, including you, or visit any of our partners and sponsors, come and see us at PL8STORY.com. That's PL8STORY.com, and give us the details. If you enjoyed this episode, please drop a review and give us a share. I'm Trista Polo, wishing you well on the road to your next adventure.